up, everybody? This is Armin from the Comic Book Cast.
And this is Joel, also of the Comic Book Cast, also known as the DVD Grouch on YouTube.
And this is Spandex 101.
A brand new show where we provide you, the listener, with a comprehensive guide to comic books and superheroes. Alright, so God damn it, I fucked it up again. See, this is why I don't open the show. Okay, we'll go again. We'll do it live. So for the very first episode of Spandex 101, we wanted to tackle a question that we get pretty much more than any other question over on our own Comic Book Cast channel, and that is, quite simply, where do I start in comics?
And this is one of those questions where, depending on who you ask, they'll tell you a different thing. Some people will go, well, if you were going to read Spider-Man, you really got to start at Amazing Spider-Man #1 back in the 60s. And I look at them and I'm like, no.
First off, if you can actually find a copy of Amazing Spider-Man,
yeah, you have to get one of those little discs that you can buy the collections on.
Those are cool, and those are actually a very good place to start if you're like a crazy completionist and really do want to dig through the 75 plus years that some of these characters have. There are actually some very good little disc DVD collections.
Yeah, you can buy those at such places as Best Buy, Staples. They'll run you about $20 to $25. It's generally a good place to start if you want to start right at the entire beginning of a character.
Yeah, if you want to be historical about it, if you want to read the original Stan Lee and Ditko Spider-Mans, or the original Bob Kane Batman.
Yep, that's a good place to start.
Which, there's nothing wrong with that. The way I have always come at it from, and I know this is going to sound crazy, but when it comes to comics, as far as I'm concerned, there's really no wrong place to start.
I will agree with you with that.
Because, if you really just pick up a book that looks interesting to you, read it, and if there's something that you run into that makes no sense, that's the cool thing about the internet, is that comic book continuity is probably one of the most rigidly and most well-kept things on the internet.
And not only that, if you go to any forum, go to even our comments, and you ask a question, chances are one of us will reply and tell you where to get more info.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, again, never be embarrassed about asking where to start, because every comic is somebody's first comic.
Exactly, and I'm glad you mentioned it. I think it was Stan Lee who coined that phrase. That, every comic is somebody's first, saying that, writers should try and be, accommodative to people who are just starting. And Marvel certainly does do that a little bit better than DC, but that being said, recently, both DC and Marvel have pretty much taken everything back to issue 1, so it's easier now to get into comics than it's ever been before.
And personally, on that note, I get a lot of people interested. Okay, Armin, you love Aquaman, we hear you talk about it, we see your reviews. Where do I start with Aquaman? How far back do I have to go? And all I tell them is, New 52, only 2 years old right now, 23 issues, and it will catch you up with everything you need for Aquaman. And not only that, it's a great story about a great superhero that's been, more or less thrown under the bus every chance he's gotten. So,
and that's a perfect thing you said right there. That leads to the other way that you can get into comics, and that is pick a hero. Pick any hero and start out from there. And chances are eventually it'll cross over into other stuff. And that's a good way to go.
Since you are saying that, I will say a lot of people will obviously automatically gravitate to what they know. They'll go get some Spider-Man, they'll go get Superman, they'll go get Batman. From there on, even if a character mildly interests you that you see in the background or they mention, check him out. Wikipedia, it's a great place to start. Comic Vine is a great resource website.
Absolutely. Comic Vine is amazing. I love Comic Vine.
Hell, here's another shameless plug. If you want to see what the comic looks like and get some info, on our channel, you can check it out. Reviews, we show you panels, and we go into the basics of the comic and break it down, whether we like the art, the score, the writer. It's a very good place. Always be willing to ask for help, because someone will lend a hand.
Yeah, but believe it or not, despite, how nerds are portrayed in the media, most of us are pretty nice people and more than willing to help you understand and get involved. Don't believe the stuff you see on The Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
Where comic book shops are this authoritarian place.
And not only that, I know a lot of listeners will test this. If you ask me on Twitter or on Facebook what to do or where to read, I will send you a giant paragraph explaining everything. Hence why we have this show right now, especially here on a new channel, to help all the new people that might be interested in this.
Exactly. Another good place to start in comics, again, as I said before, pick your hero. Anything with Rebirth or Reborn
Yes.
in the title is a good place to go. Same with Secret Origins. If you see something with Secret Origins in the title, that's a good place to get you started. Now, don't be tricked by stuff that has zero issue in the title. Just because something has the word zero issue in the title does not mean that that is the first comic. That just means they have gone back and decided to do a zero story.
Yep.
That's probably connected to what's going on. Another good place to start, again, about picking your hero. Jeff Johns has pretty much done this 3 times in a great way. Again, you mentioned Aquaman. Back in his early run on Green Lantern, that's a great place to start.
His run on Green Lantern will go down in history as one of the biggest revitalizations of a character that no one gave a crap about.
Yeah, and there are years worth of comics in that run,
and,
which
not only that, when you mention that, The Flash was brought back through The Flash Rebirth, which is where I started with The Flash again, and absolutely phenomenal series, also Jeff Johns.
And all this stuff is collected in trades, which leads us to our next thing, describing some comic book lingo. Again, you may hear us say trades a few times. A trade, when we talk about it, refers to a trade paperback. That is a collection, usually of 5 to 6 stories, of individual stories in a comic, collected in one thing for your reading pleasure. You can get that in trade paperback, or you can get it in hardcover.
And, what is great about those, a lot of people will get into something like, also, if they're not into just spandex, superheroes, there is The Walking Dead, which also, along with Marvel and DC, come out with an omnibus, which is a huge collection. They'll pack sometimes 20 to 40 issues in a book for something like $60. Now, that is a value that I can, hands down be like, if you like this character and there's an omnibus, you get this.
Definitely. Because, again, too, I understand coming at this from us, because, we are hardcore comic readers, comic fans. Again, it's basically our job. Not everyone's going to want to pick up a book every single week. These omnibuses and these trade paperbacks are a great place to go if you're one of those people, if you're more accustomed to reading like a regular book.
Yep.
They're great places to start. Another good way to start in comics, and again, we will do a whole episode on this down the line, but find a writer that you like and follow the writer.
Yep.
Again, I love Gail Simone, and she has written some amazing superhero stuff. She's also done some really fun indie work. She's also co-written some really good stuff. Again, follow a writer you like, and you will find some truly interesting stuff.
Yep. And also, another place, a lot of people, if there is no comic shop around you, which does happen a lot, physical comics are a dying breed, which is unfortunate. That's why a lot of us resort to trades. Another thing you can do is comicsology.com. You can buy all comics digitally, which we will actually get to that in another episode.
Yes, but we actually talk about where do you buy comics. We will do a whole episode devoted to that.
That will probably be the next one. So, if you guys are interested, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Or, follow us on Twitter at ComicBookCast, at the DVD Grouch, and we will definitely try our best to help you out and get into the great world of what is possibly the best medium with just no crap given about anything.
Yeah, pretty much.
Alright, everybody, so have a good one, and we'll see you next time.